Hey everyone, this is another LEGO NEXO Knights set for Year 2, Season 3. This is Lance versus Lightning. I want to start with a look at the bad guy stuff because it's a very interesting presentation here with the forbidden power on its pedestal being protected by a large Grimrock who's just standing there, just very stoic and just protecting the thing long term. Up above, there's also a platform, and that's a gargoyle. Of course, we'll take a closer look at the figures, and then you get some lightning elements out here. Now, all told, all together, you can see this as being just kind of a frozen scene, like it should be in universe. And I like to look at it this way first, where it's kind of inactive. It's inactive state, and when it gets zapped by Monstrux, then these come up and the Grimrock comes to life, and he kind of breaks his way out of the whole frame that he was within. He can stand on his own, of course, but see, this is nice. They fit together really well. And up here, they actually have a catapult, just a small catapult, a very basic one that can hold something up to the size of a 1x1 cylinder piece, just to fire things off. But they give you some things to shoot with that. A couple of little gravelers, which are printed parts, and they've got the sand blue main color, and their faces look pretty good. I think that they're printed in the correct direction. Some of the equivalents of these from Year 1 had their faces printed in strange ways that you couldn't see, you couldn't appreciate that well, but these look pretty good. And then the Grimrock itself obviously is going to have good posability because it has plenty of ball joints used for the arms and the legs. It also has the ability to open and close its claws, and you can attach things to the back. It looks kind of rocky back here. At least it's not completely left open, so I think that's a respectable look from back there. But having the studs exposed back there means that you can put things on there, including, I'm even going to grab this gargoyle here and just do like that, just push the feet on there, because why not? It kind of looks like it's just taking a little ride on the back, piggyback ride. Why not? Or you can put other things back there, but these hands, these claws can open up and still hold on to the weapons because they put the clip piece in there. That's smart when they do that, so that you don't have to worry about getting this just right and holding on in just the correct position to make it work. You've got plenty of range of motion with these ball joints. You can rearrange or reorient them a bit to get the arm to come all the way across the chest completely. What holds you back the most is this one large printed piece that's used for the torso, kind of the outer cover for the torso. Just gets in the way of the shoulder a little bit as far as lifting it up, and also not so much coming across, but it's mostly just the up and down there. But you can always move this out to the side and still get the arm pretty convincingly above the head. So I think this is done pretty nicely. You get plenty of range of motion for the legs. There's enough friction in there that you can easily get this to stand on one foot. Let's see if I can not be made a liar right there. Yep, almost. There we go. Just got to get the balance right. So you can be on one foot. That's still with one weapon fully out to the side. Now they call these lightning tridents. I don't see anything trident-y about them other than the fact that they're pole arms. But yeah, I guess they could have actually put an adapter on there and put 3 pieces. But I think they look fine just as they are. Just look like more like pikes. And then this does have a regular minifigure size and style of head beneath there, and in fact you can use this entire outer head piece on any minifigure as well, but there's just the small face under there. It looks awkward with the outer head piece off. You also get an alternate face. I think this may actually be a better alternate face, or a better face just in general, better look. A lot of that gets covered up, but I don't know, which one do you prefer? I guess you can't see the difference all that much with the outer headpiece on. Lance gets another robot horse here, and this really calls for a comparison because this is the 3rd time he's gotten some form of robot horse. In Year 1, of course, he got one of the hover horses, which uses the exact same build for the head essentially, just different colors used there. And then he also had his big mecha horse previously as well. Look at that. It's a nice little lineup there. The new one is right in between in terms of the size. It's a little bit closer to the hover horse in terms of its overall scale. And surprisingly, it has actually more articulation than the big one and more stability than the big one. Another good application of the Mixel style ball joint pieces. The only thing that's a little bit awkward about this one is that the hooves, which are minifig fez hat pieces, you know, they're kind of small, so it kind of feels like you're making this thing tiptoe around, but that's kind of the way horses actually, you know, ambulate. That's how they actually move, how they actually walk. So as long as you get it into any kind of reasonable pose, you can make this thing stand up. And I don't know exactly the proper gait for a horse. I guess this depends on which gaits they're taking, right? They have 3 different ones, 3 different main ones. Well, you can make it work. You can make lots of different things work. There are just a lot of joints here that kind of need to be posed or that can be posed. So if you get really crazy with it and you just grab the whole thing, you'll pretty quickly get it into a position where it's very awkward. Hey, it can sit, that's good. But you know, it doesn't take too much to get it back to a basic standing pose. But if you want to get something that's realistic, you know, that looks proper, you might need to put a little bit of time into it. But that's not such a bad thing. This is good here. They've got an attachment point, basically an adapter to hold on to the lance, and you know, it means that the figure doesn't have to hold on to that. You can hold on to the handlebars here. And on the other side, it's got a clip piece for his shield. So that's all I can ask for. Tail moves up and down. You can also turn the tail around if you want it to kind of hook upwards. These are the relatively new 2x2 wedge pieces with the flat corners. They've got them in white and in dark blue here. Good use of those. A little bit of the orange, the trans neon reddish orange in there. It's nice. It's like a, you know, more realistic, kind of a backwards interpretation of the hover horse. The hover horse went from a horse and then went in the mechanical direction. This goes kind of back in the more horse-like direction, and I think it's very nice. Has some nice pieces, has some nice posability, and it has a major surprise. Here's another Lance thing. This is from this year, the battlesuit version of Lance. This is freaky. Just pull that off right there. Pull this off right there. Don't need 2 pins, and you put this on here, and it becomes a Robo Centaur for Lance. You can use either version of the minifig. Look at that. That is, well, it kind of works actually. It has the stability, it has the waist articulation there. Just have to keep in mind that, you know, this is just a regular person in there. It's just a regular NEXO Knight. It's not converting into some other biological entity, but it's a Robo Centaur. And that's another nice combination that you can do. I like that they thought of this. It's a cool idea, and it's very, very easy to make it work, and you know, lets you kind of think of other things you might be able to do. Of course, you can use different battle suits to get combinations of colors and different heroes together. You know, do with it as you like. I think it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, this version of Lance minifigure is not able to hold itself up while it's just standing on the ground with the weapon. Always falls forward, and you don't have enough room because of the armor. You don't have enough room to move the arm back far enough to get the tip of the lance to actually touch the ground. That's as far as it'll go. With the shield there, it's just not working. So you actually have to lean the whole figure forward, the entire thing, to get the tip of the lance onto the ground. So he's now looking at the ground, and that's the only way to get him to hold himself up. The one single NEXO power that's included with this set is called Triple Trouble. Here's a closer look at that figure, the Year 2 version of a normal lance with a good amount of the trans orangish red or reddish orange color that's used in there, I think to pretty good effect. And he still does have 2 different faces, so his more happy and satisfied face, and is giving you a wink face. And there's a little bit more to see with just some of the print of the torso that was hidden by the armor before, and there's just the rest of it from the back. Good amount of metallic silver in there. It's very shiny. Last, here's a better look at the gargoyle, which is, I think, a really good looking figure, and it has great wings. I love that wing design. They're nice and solid. You know, they're not floppy pieces, but they're thin enough, and I think they just go really well with the color scheme for this season. And of course, there's plenty more to see with this figure as you start taking stuff off. It does have an alternate face. There's a look at the main face, and then there's also more to be seen on the torso as you take off more of the armor. See, this is actually a good look just by itself as well. And there's the rest of the armor that we didn't see before. Very nice texturing that's printed in there. If you're wondering what the gargoyle would do for a weapon, well, he can pull either of these off the side of this structure. That can be used as a weapon. That can be used as a weapon, or he can use both of them. And the last thing that I didn't note before is that the forbidden power that's included with this set, that's actually scannable, is malicious melting. Not bad, you know, not bad at all. I mean, it's only 257 pieces, this set, but I feel like they made really good use of those pieces, and yet a lot of them are small. So yeah, just you know, good work, I think, in general by the designer for this one. I think that each major component works well, and each component works with the other components pretty well, in addition to having that ability to connect with the battle suit for the horse. You know, there's a lot of good stuff going on with this. That's it for my thoughts on this set, but now it is your turn to share what you think about it. Leave a comment with your opinions down below, not just for me, but more importantly for other viewers to see and discuss. If you want to see more videos from me, subscribing is appreciated, but don't rely on YouTube to let you know about all the new content that comes up. Sometimes they like to unsubscribe people, and oftentimes they don't like to send out notifications. Just check back on my channel itself on a regular basis and you will see plenty of new stuff. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.